What's good? What's good? It's your boy Dre King live in the building. I got my man Lay Like the Chiz in the building.
Yes, sir.
Got my man Brock in the building.
All day.
We got a special guest, man. He bringing that life to this, the podcast right now. Introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, what's up, man? So, look, my name is Marcel Johnson. I'm a transformational public speaker, and I'm a transformational life coach. And if you didn't know, I have a show called The Freedom Experience. You got to check that out.
Off top. Man, we about to play this hot jam from YS1.
Let's go.
If y'all don't know,
bro,
he about to get it cracked. He behind the scenes right now, but we about to turn this up real quick. I like this jam.
But wait. What you supposed to tell him, bro?
Oh, yeah. Go subscribe to Vibeship TV right now. Let's go.
Alright, camera rolling.
Yeah. When grandma's door broke, I put this sock in it. To keep it closed, make foes thinking it's locked in it. Really wasn't, I'm buzzing out cause I'm authentic. Don't try to sue me, I know I'm hot, so rocks in it. Yahweh imminent, reminiscing about sentimentals. Peep the penmanship where I'm finna for residentials. In the H-dub, it ain't sweet, but I'm presidential with the flow. It ain't evident, I don't need your credentials, bro. All the artificial, all day mouth where the dentist go. Try to play defense, ain't gotta pick and roll. And then I went to the hole, got hit with the give and go. And I said lay up, stay up, way up. And word the big punisher, I'm not a player. I make them cry like onions when I'm peeling layers back. Of the fact that I was in a trap, busting snaps, pistol pack. I now step into my greater self. And no, man, they don't want that. Especially cause they know I'm from the 1-5, 208. So much garbage we catching, they got us throwing jewels away. I was jogging on the crest until I moved away to a new state. Now you see I move in faith into a true place of peace. Yeah, the tools at bay. Oh man, you gotta listen to the kid. Mind blowing flow like when they put pistol to my head. And yet I'm still here. Tell me on forget about that wheelchair. And I'm a part in this spot, watch me build here. Build a village for my foe to come and heal here. I guess I will share a little specimen of my testament. Born in poverty, now you see I'm invested in. Before I die, leaving wealth to my next of kin. First I built a spiritual house like a Mexican. When grandma's door broke, I said, yeah. When grandma's door broke, I put this sock in it. To keep it closed, make foes thinking it's locked in it. Really wasn't, I'm buzzing out cause I'm authentic. Don't try to suit me, I know I'm hot, so rock in it. We imminent, reminiscing about sentimentals. Peep the penmanship where I'm finna for residentials. In the H-dub, it ain't sweet, but I'm presidential with the flow. And ain't it evident, I don't need to.
Hey, Vibeship TV, man. We in the building. Y'all know what it is.
That was dope. That's a little something Jay-Z would want to get. I ain't going to stop, bro. That vibe is hard for real. I like that.
He said, I like that. Turn that up.
I put the sock
Look at it. Grandma's door broke. The sock in it. Y'all know what it is. We turning this up, man. Yeah. So y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Dre King Live. We about to get into this conversation. You know what I'm saying? We got a world leader here. I just want to say that, one time. It's a world leader. Cause the reason why I say that, because this man is conscious, woke. He's out here leading the people. He's changing minds. He's changing lives. And he's getting to it. So, let's talk about your upbringing, bro. You know what I'm saying? What's the beginning process of, where you from? Just let them know where you from and, your process of growing up a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm from Pittsburgh, but I'm from Homewood. So if you're from Pittsburgh, you know where that's at, right? But if you're from out of town, it's basically like it's a poverty little area. It's a bad neighborhood in Pittsburgh. And man, I grew up there. You know what I'm saying? I had a rough childhood, but the good thing about it was that I had parents that kind of wanted me out of the hood, right? Mm-hmm. So my dad, he was taking us traveling. I went to Mexico a lot as a kid. I went to Florida a lot. But I was like, I would go on these trips where I would go out of town, but then I would come back and have to live in a hood, right? So it gave me two different parallels of life. It gave me, where I'm at, but where I could be. And then from that perspective, it taught me to start dreaming. It taught me to start seeing things that was further than where I was at. And then from that place, man, I just dodged a lot of negativity. I dodged a lot of, violence, getting shot at, just having friends that just got killed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of backdoor, a lot of snakish type of activity, L-man's activity. But God had his hands on me. That's why I'm here today.
Got you.
Yeah.
So would you just say, going through your environment, you were able to see different things at a young age.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I say that is because I was one of those kids that used to go to New York with my mom because she's from New York. Then I used to go to South Carolina for the family reunion. So I was able to see different things. And I feel like the person that never was able to see a different thing might have been a little stuck.
Bro, I always tell you, man, try to get out of your city. No matter where you at, go see the world. Take your kids, take your family. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can't afford it, do research about another city. Get on Google and just look up the different things that's happening, because a lot of times people get stuck in where they're at, where they're from, and they're not able to see nothing beyond from where they're at. So I just encourage you, man, to take a step outside of where you at.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Probably 22.
Nah, bro. How old do you think I am?
28.
28. What about you?
Bro, me and you was in the same class.
Bro, I'm 32. I'll be 33 in July. Yeah.
That's still young.
Still look young, though.
Yeah. I know most people say that. Like, I look way younger. And you know what I'm saying?
That's a good thing.
It's all about how you live.
Take care of your body, though. You can tell you take care. That's crazy. You can tell somebody, like, extra take care of their body, and you can just tell it in their face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, you clean. You don't smoke. You don't drink. You be working out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You be keeping it healthy, but that's what's up.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
You getting into your world of what really sparked your journey? Like, what lit that igniting fire for you to become what you are now? Like, what gave you that first stride of, like, that set your reality check?
What started your transition?
My transition into, like, leadership?
Leadership.
Or my transition into just, like, desiring more?
A little
like,
bit of both. I'll say a little bit of both.
Okay. I think with leadership, ever since I was younger, I was like a people person. You feel what I'm saying? But it's weird because I didn't really like people. I'm just starting to really like people, like in a sincere way. But before, I think I just knew how to handle people, right? And then I think that I had a gift of, like, I like to say God shares his secrets with me. And he's gifted me with, like, perception and revelation. So it's like adults will be coming to me and asking me for advice about stuff in my family. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be 10 years old and I'll have cousins or aunts who's getting a divorce or somebody like that, and they're asking me, or they just feel comfortable talking to me, right? And I always am able to give them, like, a perspective that's just not a normal one. And I think that over time, people's like, you should be a pastor, because it was always just like, you need to be in the church.
The same thing for me.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hated that. Like, what?
I'm like, no, I'm like, bro, listen, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew at some point I had to really tap into leadership. But that could be a tough role, because
it is.
Just because you know better, that don't mean you want to do better. You know what I'm saying? So it took a lot of time for me to just start allowing my flesh and allowing myself to just die to my desires that was toxic. You know what I'm saying? And that really is what launched me into leadership. And I had to really start caring about people outside of myself. Because we're selfish. Human beings are selfish. And I'm still selfish in a lot of ways. And sometimes it's a healthy thing to be selfish.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, it is.
Because, you know what I'm saying, you got to put you first. But I think that what sparked it was just like my awareness of the fact that I had a gift of perception, and that I was able to talk to people and move people in a certain way. And I seen that I can move them in a negative way. Like when it came to females, bro, it was like,
speak on it, because we sounded like the same person.
Come on, bro.
Because it's just like I just know that gift. That gift is so dangerous when you able to, like, and I used to do that. And I remember my mom used to always tell me, like, boy, you using your gift for the wrong thing. And I mean, you talking about women, that's what I manipulator, mass manipulator, being able to find my way, because I could read the personality and be able to navigate them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and other people couldn't do that. It's like, but what bothers you the most about that gift is that you can see what they can't see. You can't take the blinders off. I mean, you can't blind yourself no more.
Right.
Because you can see.
Right.
And I used to hate that, because I was like, why, God, why'd you give me this gift to be able to see all this? Because I know right from wrong.
Because it's a responsibility.
Really. And then I'm using it as a corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my younger years, I get that. I was like, dang, it was a manipulation. I didn't know I had that gift. So when you use it in a positive way, like you're saying, you're using it in leadership. So you understand, like, okay, the magnitude of the gift but you couldn't understand it until you did something negative with it.
You know what it is? I did so much negative stuff and I just had fun with it. And I got out on a lot of people and did some stuff, right? But because I'm just genuinely a loving person, I ain't never do nobody like dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Like
really, I ain't never like
do something crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy. But what it was just like I was manipulating basically to get my way.
Right.
So if it was females, I was able to just, you know what I'm saying, smile at you and be like, yeah, what's up? And I was able just to, like you said, catch on to the personality and then just manipulate it. But what happened was I always bring it back to God, bro, because that's literally the person who shifted my perspective. And what happened was I was getting what I was wanting, and he was like, did that make you happy? Like, after you did all
so
that.
that was the moment?
Yeah, that was the moment.
That's what I was looking for. The moment that...
That's the moment.
That was the moment. So
that shifted me.
You was like, damn, I ain't getting nothing out of this.
So look, on top of that, so I'm a person that likes to read the Bible. So I believe that the Bible has so many different gems in it, but I don't read it like a pastor or a preacher or somebody in a religion, like you know what I'm saying, institution. I read it for like wisdom. And what I got from it was there was a passage in it that said to be crafty as a snake would be as innocent as a dove. So I said, okay.
Crazy.
So this is me. So I know how to be crafty. And because craftiness just remind me of manipulation, I had to change the word to strategy. So be strategic, but be as innocent as a dove. And then when I learned how to put those pieces to the puzzle in the right place, it just started blessing me.
You gave me a gem right there because that's crazy. But I look at my gifts now, me podcasting, doing stuff that I'm doing now. And it's just like that leadership role is something that I kind of like stepped into first with the podcasting. But, you know, as I'm building it now, I'm just now building that leadership person in myself now. But I didn't realize how much of a leader I was and how much responsibility that was in my hands. Yeah. Until I started looking around, I was like, yo, bro, you got a whole family, my man. You got.
But hold up, can I say something real fast? So I want to pause real quick, and I just want to tell you, bro, that I'm proud of you. Yeah. I just want to say, man, like, this is a dope setup. This is a dope, you know what I'm saying? I know that you started out in a crib, and then you just elevated, and I see the way that, you know what I'm saying, you're moving, and I just want to give you your flowers, because I feel like y'all are in a position of leadership, and I feel like one of my deepest desires is to see Pittsburgh just transition. I'm tired of everybody moving out of Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying, to make money. I'm trying to bring wealth. I'm trying to bring creativity here. And it's coming through people like y'all. So I just want to stop and tell y'all, man, y'all are doing an incredible job. Y'all are doing, you know what I'm saying, you're innovative. You're changing the game, you know what I'm saying, being yourself, really have people like me on the show. Just, you know what I'm saying, show love.
Appreciate it. Big time, bro. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we just putting in that work, bro. That's all we do is keep being consistent, bro, and just, you know what I'm saying, working as a team and making sure that we stay on the same page, because there's times where, you know, things happen with our podcast, and then there's times where, I ain't gonna lie, there's times where I be like, man, forget all this, I'm done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then I'd be like, there's like this little foot in the back that'd be like, you can't quit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Bro, you can't do that, brother. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you can't go backwards, you can only go forward, and that's like, and I really truly believe that, because it's like, bro, once you start something and the ball has a snowball effect, when everything starts to, you can't roll back on that, you'll die.
Yeah, but look, hold on. I want to speak on this too, because you was talking about leadership, and I think when it comes to leadership, one thing you got to know is what helps me in leadership is I always stay the student and the teacher. Yeah, you can never put yourself in a position where like I'm the almighty, everybody got to listen to me. You always have to be teachable and you have to be humble. So I like to say I'm two people. It's like I'm the student and I'm the teacher. That's what keeps me on my toes. I'm humble enough to take correction, but then I'm confident enough to correct. You feel me?
I think I didn't know I was a leader because of that, what you just said. Okay. Because I was always helping people just naturally, but not really knowing that I was being a leader. Yeah. Then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just, because I read a lot. Yeah. I'm educating myself. So it's like, he does too. All of us do. And I was like, being around those type of people was just like, all right, I got information I want to share with you. Yeah. I love getting new information and I love sharing it with different people. But another question before we
plus a couple podcasts too. I ain't gonna lie. Like I like listening to the audio of a lot of things, because it puts me in perspective. Like, cause like y'all was talking about with meditating. I really don't meditate, but what I'll do is either if I'm going to the gym, I'll put that music to put me on to get me in the mood. But if I really want to clear my head, I'll put on a podcast, because it'll open my eyes up to stuff I was already thinking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or I might have been, I'll say per se, struggling with. So it will be like, dag, like, oh, this stuff ain't going my way. And then it'll turn into, well, all this stuff ain't going this way because you got all this attention towards one thing. Maybe you got to put your attention towards everything and have a time frame for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even with the podcast, like we still have a time frame for everything. Like Saturday we do our meetings, talk about what we need to do, who's coming on, what needs to be handled if we're running ads, things of that nature. Sunday we come and we do this. That's the only time that we really talk to each other. But he still has his own job. He still has his own job. I run 2 businesses, rolling into the 3rd one now, doing life insurance.
Let's go.
But it's like trying to balance it all. You have to make sure you have balance. On top of that, I'm a dad. He's a dad. He's a dad. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure that you know when to transition for everything, but keep a steady pace. You know what I mean? Like keep a steady pace the whole time. Like if you focus on that the most, everything works out in plan. It works out most of the case. I'll say it like that.
It usually works itself out.
A couple hiccups might get in the way, but more so, you're going to even still need the hiccups because you're going to learn from them. Like you said, you still got to be a student to when something does go wrong. What do I got to do next?
So, quick question.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just so y'all know, this episode is sponsored by Eon. From Thursday to Sunday, come down, show some love. We got great drink specials. We got great food from Solar Grace. You can even watch the game in here, man. Yeah, bro, definitely the Eagles are going to get crazy. It's a bad day.
Down low, down low, down low, down low, down low. I like my top lit back, lit back. I got you, nigga. I'ma show these niggas what to do with one of your beats, man. Hey, I'm shutting the whole block down. Here comes trouble, homie. I'ma tell you how the king like to ride, homeboy. I like my beat, and my top lit back. You see me ride 24. Hey, shop, hey, holla at that like you're getting wood high. Hey, your top and let it back. If you're real, sit high. Hey, your windows bitch black. I like my beat, and my top lit back. You see me ride 24. Hey, shop, hey, holla at that like you're getting wood high. Hey, your top and let it back. If you're real, sit high. Hey, your windows bitch black.
Quick question. You're changing lives, so, and you're helping people, change their processes. What does that look like in your world when you're trying to help somebody change their life? Like, what does that process look like for you?
So, you mean as far as like life coaching?
Yeah, life coaching.
Okay,
so somebody's, you know what I mean? You're walking somebody to changing their life and trying to help them. Like, what does that process look like in your world?
Okay, so first, hold on one second. I want to say this, bro, to your statement real fast. A lot of times, a lot of stress comes from you trying to make something happen before it's time.
Facts.
So I'm learning to just be willing to go through whatever I got to go through. So eventually, when it's time, it's time. Not to be stressed out until then. You know what I mean? But I like the fact you listen to podcasts and stuff. And I'm about to start my new podcast up. I kind of already started it, but I had some episodes that I left it alone since like 2021. It's called Plus Kick Drip. It's with YS1 Yusef. So I'm about to start that back up too. But podcasts do help that. But to your question about life coaching, bro, transforming lives, it is a huge responsibility. Leadership is a big responsibility. And I think the way that I like to view life coaching is like, I'm not your typical life coach. So usually a life coach means it's somebody who helps you achieve a certain goal. So they don't really care too much about your personal or all the history about you. They really like, okay, you want to get this? Let me just help you get there, right? That's like a life coach. But I like to think that I'm a little bit deeper than that. That's why I say I'm a transformational life coach. And what it is that I do is I go into the dark places with you that you kind of don't want to identify, or the places that you're scared to reach. And then I take you kind of by the hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the gentleness about it, because you need somebody that feel like they genuinely care. And then I pull you out from darkness into the light. Now, that process of doing that, it looks different for everybody. But I think that the overall goal and the overall objective looks like me getting rid of old toxic patterns that you built up in your mind, your system, your coding, and then decoding it and giving you a new set of rules and principles and boundaries to live by. And then from there, you're usually transformed. Naturally, you're going to transform. But it's always towards the light. It's always to make you look better, feel better, and be better.
Let me ask you this. That's dope as hell. Let me ask you this. And you come on, you're a professional, and I can tell you're a professional. And we need that amongst our people, because we don't have too many of people like you. So let me ask you this. And it's not a deep question, but it's kind of a question I'm gonna say somebody of color would ask you.
Okay.
You read what you just said. is exactly what a licensed certified therapist would say.
Of course. Exactly.
So what sets you apart from that therapist, from a therapist? Why not just call yourself a therapist?
Yeah.
Why call yourself what you call yourself?
Yeah, that's a really good question, bro, and that means that you took some time to be introspective about that. I like that. Okay, so the thing about it is I went to school, right? So I went to college, and I have a degree in organizational leadership and a minor in psychology, right? But what makes me different is I think a therapist and like a psychiatrist, they just sit there and you dump all of your trash on them, and then they usually they reveal certain toxic patterns from your childhood and different stuff like that. I feel like I do things like a therapist and like a counselor, all that stuff. But what makes it different is I think that I get to the root of the issue, which is always a spiritual issue. See, psychiatrists and psychologists and even therapists, they deal with the surface. They go to a certain level, which is kind of like the ground level. I go underneath the ground to the root. So they a lot of times help you with behavior modification, but they don't really bring you true deliverance. And I think what happens with me is people get delivered and they get transformed, and deliverance could look like a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever it is that you're in bondage from. Whenever I deal with my clients and we go through a transformational process, if they're committed, they come out delivered. And a lot of times people stay in therapy for 40 years about the same thing. You're not going to do that
That's
with me.
dope.
You already said though?
That's dope.
That's why I said the 4 agreements, because in the book, in the beginning, what he's explaining in the agreements, that you made agreements a long time ago as a child.
Yep.
And you haven't given them agreements up.
Oh, that's a whole process.
So that's definitely a whole process. So I agree with what you're saying for sure, because then I had to look at my own self and was like, all right, what agreements did you make with yourself? And it could be the most simplest agreement as of how you tie your shoe.
Oh, yeah.
You made that agreement on the way you want to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
So it's an agreement that's installed into you and it's locked in. So it's like when you get somebody to rechange that, you're getting them to commit to a new agreement to themselves to say, this is the way we're operating.
Right.
And from now on, we're not doing the other way.
And you know what? It's not as hard as people think. Some people think, and I think a lot of times because it's a system, psychologists, therapists is a system, they want to get paid.
Yeah,
I get paid too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I charge for my time. But I feel like I'm more invested in getting you fixed and well so you can go. I don't want to keep you in my camp for 20 years.
I don't want you lingering.
Yeah, you don't got to linger. If you're
wanna get you-
lingering,
yeah.
you're not doing the work. I
Right.
need you to do the work. And the thing what you just said is a lot of times the first thing I do with them is I write down all the mental agreements that they made with invisible forces. See, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in angels and demons. So I believe a lot of times when you're a child, there's other entities and beings outside of you. And sometimes your own self or your family that get you to think these negative ways and you agree with it. And then eventually what happens is you start living out the things that you agree with. So I need you to take ownership of that, and it's not that hard. A lot of times it's just you using your God-given authority and being like, I break that mental agreement that I'm poor or that I'm ugly or that, you know what I'm saying, I'm stuck. I just don't mentally agree with that, and then from there you have to start like living that out. But that's a whole process, but it's not that difficult.
Another question.
Yeah.
That's dope though. You know what I'm saying? For real facts.
Yeah.
How do you deal with negative experiences in your own life that can help the next boy and girl that's coming behind you? So like that, like a blueprint, like say a little blueprint that can act like a little something that can help them.
Yeah.
Because you know, a boy or girl will be watching this episode or something,
Yeah.
and they might be like, "Man, I'm going through a hard time.
Yes.
How can I get through that process? How do I deal with those negative experiences?" So let's drop a gem for them.
Okay, the first thing I think that you should do is get quiet. Close the door. I know bro said he don't like to meditate, but you got to force yourself. Sometimes you got to treat your body like a disobedient child that you have to train, right? And I just say that you should get away, isolation. Get away from people for a minute, get off of social media, sit by yourself, get a notebook, and I just would encourage you to start writing 5 things that you're grateful for every day. Get by yourself, get a notebook, and be like, you know what, I'm going to wake up, and every day I'm going to write 5 things that I'm grateful for. Because what happens with gratitude is you stop focusing on what you don't have, and you start focusing on what you do have. And then when you focus on what you do have, it adds, like more things start coming to you for you to be grateful for. And then I think the way that I deal with my challenges is gratitude. I always go to gratitude. Like, what is it that I could be grateful for? It's my saving grace is gratitude. The next thing is God. Like, I can't leave him out. I think that when you realize that there's a being outside of you that wants the best for you and that you don't have to go through life by yourself, it gives you a certain freedom and it gives you a certain dependency that you know you're not by yourself. Sometimes your mom fail you. Like, my mom was on drugs, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. My dad was always working, chasing women. He had money. I had to really be self-sufficient a lot of my life. And I think it made me tap into myself and it made me tap into God. And when I did that, I realized, like, oh, hold up, God's real. He's talking back to me. You know what I'm saying? And then I stopped being so afraid of feeling like I'm by myself or I can't do it. But the way I deal with my problems, bro, is gratitude, and then I pray about it.
Good answer, man.
I got another question.
That was a
for
question
you,
I had
bro.
wrote down. Facts. I definitely had an 80 with that.
What would you say to somebody that has no belief in God? How do you deal? How do you? So let's say they wanted to come for you to help for help.
Yeah.
So your universe is centered around, what you know to be there's a creator.
Yeah.
So for somebody that doesn't believe in a creator at all, how would you help them, or would it be the same process?
Questions be next level, bro. I love it because they be a challenge. They make me think. I think so I do got clients and stuff like that that's like it, but you know what's crazy? Every person that comes to me that don't believe in God, they leave believing in God. And here's why. I think that it doesn't matter whether you believe in God or not. The principles are still the same. See, a lot of people worship the universe, but the universe was created by somebody, right? And I believe that there's certain principles in the universe that's like what you put into the universe does come back to you. Just like I don't need to pray about gravity. Like, if I pick up a phone and drop it, it's going to fall. There's just principles
They're just there.
They're in the universe. So I feel like there's certain things that I just use the principles of the universe to bring awareness to people of what they don't know. And then when they realize, like, wow, this is really real, then they realize, hold on, who created this?
Right.
And usually it takes them to believing in something higher than themselves. But even if they don't, my goal isn't always to get you to believe. My goal is just to bring you into freedom. And once you're in freedom, you have to believe because it's like, you didn't do it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
Yeah.
And that goes into my next question.
Yeah.
That was perfect. What made you create the freedom experience? Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, all right, so look, disclosure, man. Okay, so ever since I was a kid, I knew I was going to be on TV. Like,
Okay.
I always knew I'm going to be on TV, right? So once I learned about the Illuminatis, and I'm like, I got to have sex with people. I got to, you know what I'm saying, get blood sacrifices.
He thought he was about to sacrifice his whole life.
Like, no, I'm not giving nothing up.
So share my
Like,
blood. No, don't do that.
Yeah, like negative, like I'm not doing none of that. Like, that's cut. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving you my blood. Like, all of that's cut.
Your perception of what you thought this was is crazy. He said, I gotta sacrifice my whole life. I gotta cut blood. I gotta have sex with women. Like, huh?
Bro,
No, I don't think you gotta do all that.
So I said, so back then though, that was like the whole Illuminati. You on the internet on YouTube searching all day. So I literally,
I know how I go.
You feel me? So I gave that all up, and I said, I'm gonna just be a counselor or something. And then from there, I became like a photographer. So I started doing photography work, videography work, all the engineer stuff. I started learning it, green screens, all of that. And then I was doing photo shoots. And then one day, I was just praying, and God was like, instead of being behind the camera, I want you to be in front of the camera. And that shook me because I felt like I gave that life up. Like now, and I'm from the hood, so I'm like, I don't want nobody to know me. I wear black, I be ducked off. You know what I'm saying? Cruising.
All the I'm just pausing you just 1 second.
Yeah.
That always happens to every human being. They'll go when they don't believe they can do something. All the thoughts start flying at you. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I can't. No. All the excuses in the world will pop in your head at that moment. But go ahead, continue, bud.
Facts, bro. I just felt like, man, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want nobody in my face. I got to be low key. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like God was like, I want you to create something called Freedom Friday. So on Fridays, I was doing something. I just went live on Facebook every Friday, and it just started booming to the point. You know what I'm saying? From it. And it started getting to the point, it was like almost to 500,000 people, but I didn't know what to do with that influence. My inbox would be filled. I would be hitting people up. At that time, I didn't monetize myself correctly. Right before COVID, somebody hacked my account or something happened with my Facebook account. My old one, it got shut down.
Damn.
Right? So I was like,
was
You
leading
come
too
up,
many people.
Yeah,
Trying
that's
to
always got to be
get
like
you,
that. You get big, somebody got to come in there and try to steal.
bro, but look, so I was
You get
just
too
like,
big. We got to shut him down.
well, once again, gratitude. I was like, well, thank you, God, because now I don't got to be responsible for so many people as leadership. I felt called to that. So I was happy about it, low key.
Because that was a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of pressure, bro. And then my dad died,
And,
right?
ooh, so he definitely saved you.
So
Definitely send my
six-
condolences on
Yeah,
that, bro.
condolences.
Thank you, bro.
Sure.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying? After that, my dad died, and then I was just he had a house, and he was just like, you know, he always kept saying, like, this is your house, this is your house. But I lived somewhere ducked off. And then when he died, I wanted to sell that crib. But I had a dream of him with a tool belt on coming to me and being like, come on, you ready? And I'm like, ready. And then I kept looking for contractors to fix this crib up. I couldn't find them. I ended up fixing the crib up myself. Now, mind you, I know how to do a couple things. I could patch up a little hole, but I ain't know electrical work, drywall, plumbing.
That was all God. He
Bro,
gave you the tools.
I did all of it. I did all of it. And my boy Yusef helped me. But look, I did all of that. And in the process of doing that, I had another dream of a big wall. And on the wall was a bunch of different faces doing a bunch of different things. And I was confused, like, what is that? But I was on there. And he said, that's TV. And I'm like, okay. He's like, so I want you to be on TV. And I'm like, okay, so how am I going to do on TV? What's the strategy? And he said, you're going to create your own TV. And he told me that most people don't even watch TV, they watch their phones. So he's like, this is what I want you to create. So he gave me the vision for the Freedom Experience. And then when he gave it to me, I kind of didn't know what to do with it. I was being extra, like, in the beginning, if the first seasons, I'm being extra. I'm trying to be like, yeah, I'm being extra, just animated and being like, yeah.
Beginning, just learning the ropes.
Bro, I'm just tweaking. I'm thinking I got to put on this persona to be like, yeah. So, and it was just crazy because I wasn't really being myself. But each season, I keep getting more comfortable into myself. But the message for the Freedom Experience is I have people on my show to honor them. Because I feel like everybody's walking around with low self-esteem. Everybody feel like they not worthy. The fact that you're alive, you're worthy. You know what I'm saying? Especially black people. I'm really about building up the black community. I need you to be on my show front and center. I need to give you your flowers. I need to talk about all your real life experiences, the stuff that happened to you. There's people on my show that got molested. There's people who died, went to jail, people who are prostitutes, people who did drugs. So I like to have them on my show and honor them because I feel like they still need to receive love. Like, God does not love you based off of what you did. You're still cool. You feel me?
I love the fact that you're doing that because just commends to my brother right here.
Yeah.
Since he started the social media shit, he's always had this authenticness. And I always felt at times that I was trying to be a character in the beginning.
Bro.
And it was like,
got to.
and he really helped me, like, low-key, you don't know it. From me watching his content, it helped me start being in myself.
Yeah.
So, like, as I got more into me with the social media, now I'm starting to be me now. And I'm seeing it more me. And I'm like, oh, now this is me. Like, because I'm not being I'm just being me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what that looked like in the beginning. It was like, okay, I got to be, hey. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
And it was like, it was so weird. And then I would watch it, it made me cringe, like, that's a little, you know what I mean? It's like, then now it's like, when I watch it, I'm like, oh, that's really me. That's really me. Like, that's how I'm talking, like me. Yeah, I got a little professionalism in there, but I'm still being me. And I get that feeling, that process, like you going through that because I just went through that. Like, but I'm just now this year was like, no, be you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And just when you step, and I think that the social media era is, there's a limited people of leaders that's actually them. So when you get the person that's actually them, they can't help but to watch you.
Facts.
That's why, like, when you see a rapper doing all the wild stuff, he might be wild, but that's really him.
Yeah.
So people cleave to that,
They
even
gravitate.
though it might be negative or whatever. They cleave to it because they see that's who they are.
Yes.
That they don't want people to see, but that person's actually just being wild in front of the people because that's who they are.
Exactly.
You know
I
what
think
I'm saying?
that when you're authentic, it's like people gravitate towards authenticity because
They
a lot
do.
of people aren't authentic. So it's almost like everybody's wearing this Halloween mask. So when I pop mines off, you're like, oh, I want to take mines off too. I can't breathe. I just want to be free too. So I think the Freedom Experience is, my whole purpose is to bring people on and say, like, look, you are experiencing freedom. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, even if you're still drugged up, even if you're still going through something, there's something that you were set free from that I need to honor and I need to point out. And it's not about being perfect, like perfectionism. I know for me, because I'm such a thinker, I always try to dot my I's and cross my T's. So I'm still in the process of being me. I'm still learning to like, you don't have to be perfect, bro. Like, let
Right.
that go. But I think a lot more of myself now is I'm just willing to be authentic because I don't care. And I think that I'm feeling better about it. But the freedom experience, bro, and then we got something new on there where we got artists. So people that's doing music, rappers, singers, I always want people to use their gift. I'm like, if you have a gift, there's people on my show that this is the first time performing, first time singing. I'm like, use your gift. If you could do something, stop hiding. Get up and use that gift, and I'm gonna give you a platform to do it on. God is gonna bless the freedom experience, bro. It's gonna just go so far, man. I'm gonna have y'all on the show.
No, I like that, bro. I like that
name, bro.
Because when I first seen it, I already knew a lot of your work that you was already
That name
doing.
definitely clicked.
And when you showed up with the freedom experience and just the circle of people that you be around in the spiritual, you know what I'm saying, sense, I was like, oh, bro, I already know that's gonna go up.
Yeah.
Like I ain't had no questions or no doubts. It was like automatic, like. Cause I know that's what type of person you was already. I was like, bro, you already been live, so you just all he did was just take it up another notch. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I don't understand though, but it's great to be a part of.
Yeah, he gonna go up.
Because I'm grown.
Yeah.
It's great to see a transition from Holler Rosary to now.
Yeah, because you know childhood.
Oh yeah, facts.
Yeah.
And like even like with certain things that you were saying and how you were when we were 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
It still correlates with each other and showing like your growth. You know what I mean? Like all the way through, even though like you said, you're still a student, so there's things that you're still learning, but it's crazy to see like it go from there to up here now. Like you're in a different bracket, not just age-wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I commend you on that big time, bro.
I received that.
I like
Thank
that,
you,
too,
bro. I
Facts,
received
bro.
that for real. Because you
Definitely.
know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
so I received that.
Y'all
Facts,
both
bro.
hit on. Y'all both said two things that resonated with me, and it resonates with everybody. But a lot of people don't realize. Like you said, you're a student. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize what that means, bro. Because I think, and I say a lot of people because as we get older, we feel that we've seen and done and been through so much stuff, and we done seen it and done it all.
Yeah.
So we become unteachable. You know, nobody can tell us nothing. We know it all. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the case. And I think the most successful people, you know, and the people we see that got that got money, that's got, you know, successful businesses, successful, whether they're on TV or not, whether they do things that like you do, you know, inspire people, whatever the case may be, that's like one of the number one things they keep with them, bro, is to be a student. You know what I mean? Continue to grow no matter how old you get, because, you know, you can always learn something new. You can always be taught something new.
That's crazy.
You know what I
Facts.
mean? So I think that's
I
important.
agree with
I
that.
appreciate that. I love that feedback, bro.
Because like learning, just I always been a sponge, bro. Just learning books and information. Like I read real heavy, bro, and I be so. I watch documentaries. Like I be so tuned in and learning so much new stuff, and I be like, it's like every day it's a new dimension of learning something new for me and all. And I was a kid that was in special ed. I used to feel like I was a stupid kid, and I never forget those emotional feelings. I was like, man, I'm dumb. And I never forget my dad telling me like, man, you ain't dumb. You know what I'm saying? My dad, bro, he was in jail. He read the whole dictionary, bro. And like my mom was like, no, he's like that. And then as I got older, I started finding out I was the same way. I just catch on slow. But once I got it,
You got it.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then I just started noticing a lot of people around me stopped learning, and I kept going.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, nobody ain't learning nothing. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm
You know
coming
what
with
it
this
was?
information.
You know what it was? Certain things, I don't think you was learning slow, bro. It just didn't pique your interest at that time.
It probably did.
For sure.
You know what I'm
History
saying?
class did.
Like,
though.
like I say
love
that. I
history
say that
class.
for a reason, just because like he knows I was sleeping class, bro.
Bro.
It just didn't.
No, like, y'all don't
But I mean,
understand.
I used to
Bro
really be
would
gone,
sleep
bro.
every day. Like, it's like if school, look, bro, it's
And
like,
I passed though. That's the crazy part.
If yeah, I'm doing more work,
I'll be out in a minute.
bro, if school was like a TV show, like a Disney show or something, his role would just be to sleep. Like, he just slept the whole time, bro. Like, all day long, just sleep. But I feel like at the end of the day, you still caught on to what you needed to catch on to get you here. You know what I'm saying? And I
facts.
think we all take different roads to get to where we're supposed to be. Sometimes it do take you a little longer to get to where you're supposed to be at, but I feel like at the end of the day, as long as you get there, that's all that counts.
No, big facts.
As long as we get there, that's all that counts. And I think back to what you were saying though, as far as just like the educational part and being able to reach the different places. I forgot completely what you said, but
Oh, about
Being a student.
Being a
Oh,
student.
being a
Be a
student.
student, yeah.
Oh yeah. See, I think that one thing about it is I watch so many. I'm a student of life. So it's like I watch old heads feel like, man, I know more than you know what I'm saying. Y'all youngins don't know.
They get on my nerves.
You know, bro.
Get on my, they get on
Bro.
my like, bro, but you're 50. You're doing the same thing. I don't think. I think you need to learn something else, my man.
You gotta, bro, and I think that it keeps you relevant because I think the world is always evolving and there's always new things happening. So in order for you to stay relevant, in order for you to stay, you know what I'm saying, on your toes, you gotta be willing to learn. And it's humility. I think pride blinds people. You get prideful.
Majorly.
That's what
Hell,
blinds
shit, because you can't, because pride leads to anger.
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
like
Once that
pride
anger is in there,
hurts
you
you,
can't see. You can't see unless,
blinds
you know
you.
how you know this is a truth? Because if somebody down the street cuts you off in their car,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If you let the anger take control, you ain't gonna be able to think straight on what just happened. But if you stay calm, you able to, I see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm gonna say this, like that's probably like why I like Italian movies, like mob movies.
Yeah.
Just because of their discipline. Not because of just the killing part, but people like, oh yeah, I like the kill. Like it's
They structure
the authority of the
structure.
order. The
Yeah.
order is like, yo, we don't. Yeah, I mean, and there ain't no. What? You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of those. Ain't nobody yelling. Everybody's like calm, and then it's like even when they did a hit, it was like. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they just like that. So it's like the disciplines to knowing, like, okay, that's what makes them dangerous because they're thinking in a calm space.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that's the only thing I really like is like the disciplines. Anybody that's really disciplined, any culture, but if you got the discipline, that means you're able to like think in the most chaotic moments. And if you can think, that's like in a battlefield where there's guns going off. The survivors is the ones that they tell you in war. The people that is the most calmest people when the chaos is going on was the ones that lived.
Yeah.
They was scared, but they were calm.
Yeah.
So they was able to. I'm scared as hell, but we gonna get through this. They thinking, but the other person that's he moved, he got shot because he wasn't reacting on
You know what I'm
the
thinking
fear
about?
and the emotion and the anger is like all those emotions. 19 Keys said this.
What?
He said most of us men and women ain't emotionally intelligent yet. No one ever taught us to be emotionally intelligent.
Oh, so look, so hold up.
That's a whole dynamic.
So hold on. So look, let's segue into this. So first of all, what you just made me think about was my granddad. R.I.P. to my granddad. But my granddad's the one that taught me kind of about God. But the thing about it was he was an army general for 40 years. So he was in that thing.
seen
So,
it.
yeah, so I kind of grew up with like a militant mindset. And even though it was like
Discipline.
annoying at the time, it was just like, come and sit down with me. Let's read this. Okay, now what do you think that meant? All right, so how would you apply that in your life? So I feel like all of that gave me like
He gave you structure.
bro, it was like a Bible boot camp, but at the same time it was teaching me the principles about life in a militant way. And I think even to this day I'm able to stay calm and I'm able to think rationally because of that upbringing. And so that just goes to say, to validate your point, I think it's like it's a military structure that allows for you to navigate through life in a way where you always come out kind of on top, or even if you die a soldier. You feel me? So I know I'm a warrior, and I'm a warrior in the spirit. That's why I say I'm a prayer warrior. People take that lightly, like
you
I'm
for
just
real.
no, I'm a prayer warrior. It's like a sniper, you know what I'm saying? But to talk about intelligence, so social emotional learning, I got a curriculum. It's called Back to Purpose, and it's an organization where we're in the city of Pittsburgh in the school systems, and even in some school systems outside of the city of Pittsburgh. But we teach SEL, which is social emotional learning, and I love talking to the black kids because a lot of them, even the white kids too. I'm not prejudiced, but a lot of them, they dismiss the social emotional learning part, and they look at it like it's weak. They look at like being emotional as weak, or they look at it like soft, but they're not realizing that they're emotionally weak by even being so soft and being so hostile and choosing those decisions to make outside of not being able to control their emotions. So I have a Yusef Shelton. He's there. He comes and raps, and he got lyrics that are kind of like social emotional learning. I like break the toxic patterns out of their mind, and I replace it. I do kind of like life coaching, but I do it on like a massive way where we help the students out. And then I have another partner. His name's Justin Locanti. He's a wellness instructor, and he teaches them about breath work. like breathing. He teach them about like the internal like meditation,
Mm-hmm.
and we just really tackle that social emotional thing because that's a real thing.
It is because that's
big time.
I started learning my emotional intelligence through meditation.
I think
Come
a
on,
lot
they
of
start learning.
athletes need
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That what you just.
But no, they can't, bro.
What you mean,
Bro, you listen.
a lot of athletes need that.
They need it. I'm not
We
saying they
need
don't
that.
need it. What I'm saying is, the industry they're in, bro, is gonna tear that apart.
I feel
'Cause,
like, no. I feel like no.
In a certain
Just-
way. So I'm not saying all of them, but I'm
I
gonna just
think-
say there's a group of them because it's like the regiment and the careers that they're in, like the way they gotta be on that field, bro. They have to be a dog.
Even with them being
Like,
a
low
dog,
key,
though,
like, you know what I'm
I feel
saying?
like
So you
even
gotta be able
with
to
them
turn
being
that
a
off and
dog, bro,
on.
you can still be you could be a silent killer.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you
Like
can
a
still,
Palomalo?
bro. You ain't facts. Prime example.
Or
Palomalo.
Villanueva.
He's a silent killer.
And even when he get mad, you don't even know that he's mad. You just know that he's
regular.
playing good.
Just regular, yeah.
But-
They said he
I
snapped
won't even
on
say
the
that.
field.
Playing great. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
But you should still learn how to turn it on and off. You know what I mean?
I think-
like you
I
said,
think-
you should,
I think it'd be a little hard. That's what I'm
I
just
think
saying.
it is hard, but I think what was you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I think it'd be a little hard in that regards, but I think it'll go a long way because you got to remember those athletes got families that they go home to at the end of the day.
They do.
And how many times they the business that they represent and the company that they represent, i.e. the team. If they go home and have a domestic, bro,
over.
that's
But look, this is what
valid.
happens though. A lot of times, like I'm not so like I grew up with white family, black family, so I'm not racist at all. I love all people, but a lot of times white people give black people a check, and then the black person really don't know what to do with it because they're not financially literate.
yeah.
And then what happens is all of that internal stuff comes out to life. So I think that like one thing that I know God has called me to be is an influencer of influencers. So it's like I don't even want to be famous in that way where I'm known. I just know that I'm called to influence influencers, people in high positions. It's like some way, somehow, God's going to work it out for me to be able to talk to them one-on-one and maybe life coach them. A lot of the athletes, and even so, I do some of my on my Instagram. I do these like celebrity prayer videos. So I feel like when it comes to that, everybody think just because you got money, you're up good. But a lot of times I'll have a vision or I'll be thinking or I'll see something or I'll just catch something in the spirit about somebody. And then I'll be like, you know what, let me go online and pray. And I pray for people off the line, not just celebrities, but I intentionally do that because if they're leading America with their influence, they're the most important people to be praying for because they're kind of running the nations, even with all the different agendas. You know what I'm saying? They need to have a different perspective. So I'm an influencer of influencers.
I just feel like everybody's an influencer for
Period.
sure. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you got billions of people on the earth. Everybody's meant to do a piece of the puzzle.
Nobody's more important.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like...
It's like a body.
Yeah, it is a body. Because,
It's a
you know what I
body.
mean, think about just like gangs and, just organizations. Those are bodies of people that's moving in a certain type of way to make something happen, and it's a bigger
Sure.
picture. So when you say... Everybody's an influencer in some type
sure.
of way. It could be at the lowest or the highest.
You could be a janitor. And I always tell people this. A lot of
Facts.
times you cannot get caught up with thinking you got to have the mic, you got to be on the camera
you
to
don't
feel
gotta be
important.
that.
No, because it's people like my granddad who never was even on a camera who influenced somebody like me. It's really the people behind the scenes
scenes.
in everyday life who really makes the world go round. Not the people
that
on the
connect.
stages. You know, most of the time people on the stages are the puppets.
Right.
It's the people
It's
behind.
always the people behind the scenes.
It's the people
bro.
behind the
It
scenes.
is.
It's always the people.
So you saying like
and you hear
you
their
saying-
names like, yeah, man, you'll
you
be
saying
like,
like
oh, that's
Gary
the
V,
person.
like Gary V.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I got a question for you.
What's up?
Because I know you said that you want to bring a lot of light back to the Berg, but even with you doing that, do you feel like you should still push out a little bit further, like as in like Atlanta, Miami, California? Only reason why I state this because you can still bring this all back to the Berg, but I feel like you would bring a lot of light to just them places, not just because of where you're from, but who you are and what you represent for any community. I feel like you should definitely look into that, bro.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like, cause I got a daughter down south. She lives down there. She comes up here for the summertime, but
Yeah.
there was a kid in her class that just passed away. She's only 12, bro. I think the kid was only 11 or 12.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? Even you remember what happened around the time we was young.
Yep.
I think it was the restaurant right up the street.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what dude's name is right now. I think it was Paris. It was
Yeah,
his
I know.
little sister.
I know Perry and Taylor. Shout out
yeah.
to Taylor and Perry. Yeah,
Definitely.
R.I.P. Taylor.
Definitely. And like I asked her, and she was just real nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
But you could tell like she just
hurt her.
Not even that, bro. You could tell that she really don't understand.
And what's going on?
You know
like
what I
the
mean?
social emotional learning part.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like that's the plan. So
Okay.
I plan on expanding to Texas first. So I want to move to Houston, Texas. But first I'm going to it's like Pittsburgh is I'm learning to watch my words. Pittsburgh is transforming.
It is
into a
transforming.
better place. And I
It is.
believe that something is awakening in Pittsburgh.
I ain't gonna lie, I can feel that same energy. I don't know what it is.
Bro,
It's just
so-
like everybody's waking up and it's like a flower, like doing this.
It's like a wave.
Yeah, I'm saying
It's coming.
like,
It's
coming
opening
out.
up.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I think that if you can kind of make it in Pittsburgh and you can push through the judgment of everybody else
Here?
and still following your dreams, you'll fly anywhere else. It's like
Facts.
people gravitate towards you. They'll help you. So I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Pittsburgh is kind of like my training, my boot boot camp to kind of, you know what I'm saying, get my grit up. And then when I go and I expand to Texas, when I expand to Miami or to California or to was it New Orleans? Where's the other place? Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
I feel like it's going to be a lot easier because I'm gonna know how to navigate. I know how to deal with people. Pittsburgh is a rough place to start something.
It is crazy here.
But when you do it, you can do it anywhere.
No,
I mean, it depends on what type of person he is.
No,
'Cause,
I
like,
feel
it don't
like- I
bother
feel like
me.
you can blend in.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like him saying like dealing with the people here. Like, I don't know. It's like certain people. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I know for me, I don't give a fuck about. Excuse my language. I don't care a fuck about what they feel, how they feel. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And I think that's what always been my. Even you'd have been the same way in the
for
street because
sure.
it was like
For
any
sure.
person that goes off by themselves and do their own thing, they usually like, oh, you the loner. Because the loner is the one figuring out the plan to go figure out to go do this thing.
But this is why you're called, bro, to be an influencer. This is why it's like you're important because other people's gonna watch Vibe TV, shout out Vibe TV, and they're gonna be like, man, I should start with my stuff. I should start, you know what I'm saying? I should be a football coach. It don't have to be another podcast. It could just be like, I'm gonna start my rap career. You know what I'm saying? My clothing little stuff.
A piece of inspiration.
Yeah, and I feel like you're an example for that. That's why I gave y'all flowers because there's people at the crib feeling like they can't do it. But you're showing them that you can do it. And I think another thing is we're starting to support each other. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I need to come. I need to promote y'all podcast. I need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere I'm at, I'm going to bring y'all up. Like, yeah, you know about that? Because I feel like this is the time, like you said, there's a great awakening, but this is time to be supportive.
It is.
To be creative. And then to be innovative.
Right.
Because there's things that's going to come out of Pittsburgh that the world is going to gravitate towards. People's going to move, like, I'm about to move to Pittsburgh and start this. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? And wealth.
And it's starting. I ain't going.
starting.
Even you saying that it's starting, but you know what's scary about now?
What?
I seen this coming.
Ooh, come on.
Yeah, I'm talking about this interview, right, bro? I seen it coming.
Come on,
Like
Prophet.
even with me and bro,
Yeah.
it was what I first started selling clothes.
Right.
I came to his crib. We was just talking about just marketing. You know what I mean? It was me, him, and my man Bug at the time.
Yeah.
And we was just talking about just marketing,
Remember I said on the
transitioning. Yeah.
I said on the
Yeah,
porch.
I
was
remember that.
Bro, when you brought your son,
I brought my
said-
son, yup, facts.
I said, no, we gonna be millionaires. I said, your kids and my kids playing. I was like, I say no when that scenery's gonna come,
Facts.
but that be God telling you sounds like this is what it's gonna look like later.
And this is
He
like,
always show you.
Yeah, but it's like a
Yeah.
little glimpse. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you gotta
saying?
be patient. That's what I'm
Sometimes-
saying. You gotta be
Facts.
patient.
Oh, you so
Definitely,
right because
definitely.
it's like sometimes you see that little glimpse. You like, hurry up, bro. Like God, like no, I ain't no hurry up. You ain't ready for this.
you be over there like trying to grab it. It's like, it's not that time.
It's
yet.
not that time yet. Like I mean, hurry up.
And that's the season I'm coming out of. I'm learning to
Patience.
surrender. I'm learning the art of surrender. You know, like,
Just be free.
just be free and stop trying to make stuff happen on your time. I just had to realize, like, man, I did everything I can do. And it's like, it's still, like, not working. So therefore, I got to surrender. And I think that that's part of God's plan is for you to not tweak and then, like, just let him just, you know what I'm saying, formulate it. There's something that you're supposed to be learning.
You know why you say be patient? What you just said is
Surrender.
real because surrendering is this, bro. Why are you in a rush to die?
Swear.
I'm not in a rush no more. You know what I said?
Oh,
No
come on.
homo.
Come on.
Sitting in the shower.
Yeah.
I'm washing my body. God said, you're going to be 70 one day. I said, thankful that I'm living in this moment because I don't know what that body going to feel like.
Bro.
My life.
It was a gift. Because he
gonna
was
be feeling
telling
like-
me,
gonna be
because
feeling
I
like-
was in my mind racing to do what I want.
You gonna be feeling like chicken rubber.
Yeah, you like, dang. He like, did I tell you was gonna be this age? you like, yeah, thank you.
Like, this is the last
Now be thankful for the 70 because you try to make it to 90.
See?
But it's like he was telling me being
bro.
grateful be grateful for the body that I was in this time with my kids at this age being this young. Because he was saying like, yeah, I know you want to be a millionaire. That's a worldly possession.
Come on.
I know you want cars. That's cool.
Come on.
But all those things decay just as much as your body decays. So take care of who lives inside of you.
Bro.
I got to take care of who living here. Because if I ain't taking care of that, that's the person that says this at the end. I got so many regrets.
Facts.
Bro.
I don't want to be that. And I always said this, before I become a millionaire, this is my prayer. I prayed this a long time ago. I said, God, if you going to make me a millionaire, please let me be humble, because I ain't trying to get knocked off the pedestal.
Bro.
I don't never want to get to the top and then start acting, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you like, oh.
Listen.
Like, he'll knock you right. And you'll be like, oh, I'm down bad. Like, bruh, just as much as you thought you could be rich, doesn't mean that you can't get knocked down. And I always ask for humbleness, and then I had to understand what's inside of humbleness. And what's inside of humbleness is a person that just being grateful for the life that he has, because everyone's young, rushing, but it's like, bro, if we rush, you get the millions. Like, yeah, I want to live a millionaire in your youth, but how stupid are you in your youth than you are in your middle ages? Like, so it's like the maturity and the consciousness got to be lined up with the money.
So this is what. So everything you're saying, bro,
It got to be lined up with the money.
Look, everything you're saying is on point, because you have to be prepared. You got to be the person that can handle the money,
all that,
or the money's going to handle you. But look. So I worked at the VA hospital as an observational specialist for years, maybe like 6-7 years, right? And what I noticed was, so I had to observe different patients, right? So observation. So I had to have young ones and old ones. And what I noticed was that the young people are tweaking to get old, right? Like they're tweaking to like get everything and tweaking to get
right
old,
now.
right? But then when you're older, you're tweaking to be young.
Younger again.
So it's like the trick is, I can't wait. When you're young, I can't wait for this, right? When you're older is, I wish I can go back to that. So when I'm learning, what I
regrets,
bro. So look, this is what I learned.
Voice.
You have to just, and I apply this. You have to just fully enjoy and be present every moment. So I'm like, whenever I move from Pittsburgh, it's gonna feel like I don't miss it, because like I enjoyed the full moment. Like my dad died, and like 2 years before my dad died, you know, I kept having revelations from God talking about, you know, just making me. I kind of knew my dad was gonna die. Just he wasn't sick or nothing, but just based off of what God was putting on my heart. Like I would take him to the movies, out to eat. I'm taking him shopping. I'm just sitting around him, talking to him. And it's just like,
the moments.
I did everything that when he died, it was like, well, what else would there be to do if he was alive? There was nothing else to do. So I love that God kind of lets me kind of like squeeze and expunge everything out of a moment, so that when it passed, I don't regret it. And that's the way I kind of try to live my life.
And that's the truth, because I'm not trying to get too spiritual. I mean, I read the Bible too. I read the Bible.
Let's go.
And you know, in the Bible it's like, nothing a man can do under the sun but eat and drink.
Come on.
So when I started realizing, like, bro, all I could do is eat food, drink liquor, drink water, whatever I want to drink, and just live.
And I also say be merry.
Right. Be happy. Just be happy. So it's just like living in the now. That's what that really means to me. Is like, because it's like, if I just think about now, and that's what one of the Sada Guru dude was telling me, was like, people are suffering from their memories. Because they're still caught into what happened yesterday. They're suffering from memories all around America. Nobody's suffering from anything but their memories. Now, if they're physically suffering, that's something different.
That's different.
But if they're actually, 9 times out of 10, ain't nothing. You can look at them. There's nothing going on, bro.
Yeah.
There's nobody hitting them. There's nobody beating them down or nothing, or crucifying or doing nothing to them. But they're looking sad. And you're like, what's going on? They're suffering in here. Because they're thinking about what yesterday, or how this happened and why that happened. And it's like, bro, get out of here. Live here. What's going on now? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why they can't move forward.
Wow.
They can't, because they stuck there. They stuck in their memory. But one more question, another question before we get it.
I got one more question.
You got a question. I just want to ask this one after you get done. Go ahead.
You see yourself going to Texas, or that's where you're going to go.
Yeah.
You see yourself expanding, which is dope. So I got a question for you. What about the the people that's the culture difference, that people who are not American. So let's say you got Johnny that's a Chinese, or Steven that's Hispanic, or Jose that's Filipino. How does your gift help them?
Or how would it help them?
Yeah.
Or
Is it kind of, is it everything kind of the same, but just, directed to their culture and how they were,
I love your questions, man. Like, you be having like, okay, so first of all, bro, because you make me tap into something that like I'm not even thinking about. But like, I'm a father of many nations. You feel me? So I feel like at the end of the day, something in me, the principles that I have, it helps any nation that applies it, any person. So I feel like if anything, I would just need a translator. You see what I mean? If I had a translator and I was able to translate the message to you and you were able to receive it in that way, you would still walk into freedom. And I feel like that's a part of my calling eventually, where it's going to be in the Philippines, it's going to be in different places in Africa, and I believe it's going to be somewhere in the Middle East doing something else too, because I know that many people around the world are supposed to experience my gift. I don't know how I'm going to get there. That's the part where I have to be relinquished, because leave it up to me. I'm a solutionist, so I'm always trying to figure it out. And I think my biggest struggle is just sitting still and waiting. But I just know at some point, many nations are going to come to me in some type of way, and I'm going to be able to give them insight that really just flows from God. You know what I'm saying?
No, big facts, big facts.
I lied. I got one more. This is it.
No, I was about to say nothing. Go ahead.
One more.
Go ahead.
So, and that
We
was
throwing
dope.
them.
And so, like,
I love it.
I don't want to leave without mentioning the women. And I know it's, generally speaking, it's probably the same because, but because women has dealt with different issues that's kind of aside from what men went through.
Yeah.
Would what you teach and you inspire, would that go the same route for women, especially women of color?
Yeah.
That would go the same?
What's crazy, bro, is my life coach clients are women or men. They're middle-aged white women with money. A lot of them are millionaires, men, because a lot of people have money, but they don't know what to do with it because they don't know their purpose. So once you start discovering your purpose, then you can apply your money to the right, things that really bring you joy on the earth, like drinking, eating, being married, family, whatever. Women of color, I found it to be a little bit more difficult to deal with them because I have to go to another level with them. Because if you didn't know, women of color are like the most unappreciated humans on earth. Because it goes like, white men and then like white women, then black men and then black women. So I have to kind of go deep with them.
Stereotypes.
It's a stereotype. And I have to really go deep with them and bring their purpose and their worth and their value. And a lot of them have like a surface level of worth, because the reality of it is the whole world is ran by black women. Right. Everybody, like, you either need a black woman's cooking, you need her looks, you need her nurture, her love. It's like everybody needs black women, but everybody kind of like despises or like dismisses them. So when it comes to black women, or when it comes to women in general, I just still apply the principles that fit that person, that client. But I think that more than anything, I just always look at people based off the individuality. Like what it is you need. And then I think I have a gift in that way too, because growing up, I grew up around women. Like, people will call me feminine a lot of times growing up, because I probably did have feminine attributes, but I grew up around women. And I think that at a stage, I didn't know why, but now I know it's because I needed to understand women. I needed to understand women on a deep level. So now it's like that little like feminine energy, I know how to navigate it. I know how to utilize it and everything. And now I apply the masculine energy and the feminine energy, and it really just makes me be myself. And I feel like God is like, he has that feminine and masculine energy, but I just lean more towards the feminine energy when I'm dealing with women. And then they're able to relate to that, and then I'm able to pull them out. Because if I go in there like a man and it's just like, yeah, no, you gonna do this, it's kind of like they don't like that. So I have to like lead them and guide them and be gentle with them. And at that point, it's like I bring freedom. So it doesn't matter, whatever. And on my social media, I'm real smiley and I'm happy. And the reason why is because God told me back in the day, I was on social media, black people was getting killed every week. You know what I'm saying? People was just twerking or people getting shot. And I was like, man, it's so dark. And God was like, well, be the light. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, you be the light. So I do a lot of stuff. I'm not perfect, y'all, but I don't promote nothing that I do. Anything that's dark, I'm never going to promote it because it's enough of it. So all my social media looks super light. It's nothing but light. From the first post to the last one, you're just going to be filled up with light, whether it's words, a picture, a video, me being like, have a blessed day, I love you. I'm always going to pour light into you because I don't need to pour darkness into you. You got enough of that.
That's what's up.
Hell yeah.
No, facts. Another question. Entrepreneur ventures that you, because you know on the Vibeship TV we pride ourselves on entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Some entrepreneur ventures that you got going on, and what's some other ones that you would like to pursue?
Okay, so I always like to describe myself as like an entity. So I'm Marcel Johnson, right? I'm my own entity, I'm my own self. But outside of me, I created 3 other entities. So we have one, which is Kingdom Kids Worldwide. That's a nonprofit. That's what feeds homeless people. We do violence outreach. We do drug and alcohol recovery. And there's a lot of other things that's going to come about that in the future. Okay, next to that, we have something that I just launched last year. It's called Global Transformation. Now, this is an LLC. And what I do with that is a lot of public speaking. I do life coaching, but I also have the curriculum Back to Purpose, where I'm in the schools and I'm talking to the kids with the social emotional learning. But with Global Transformation, God gave me a vision, bro, of like different entrepreneurs. They don't feel seen, they don't feel acknowledged, and they give up before their day of visitation. So I feel like God is going to visit you and he's going to bless your business. There's a day that you're going to be blessed, but you got to hold in there. You got to stay in there until that day. And a lot of people give up too soon. So Global Transformations, what I have now is award ceremonies, where every year we pick, me and my team, or even y'all, I can take suggestions from y'all. We find people in the city of Pittsburgh who have a business, who's really making a difference, and then we honor them with an award, and then we acknowledge them, we do a quick interview of
Our
their
girl was
life.
watching that.
You know,
she was talking about that. Yeah, she's like, he's giving out awards. I'm like, oh, for real? I said, that's dope. But I didn't know what for, but you explained it now, but it makes sense. Like, all right.
Like, so, and even kids, like there was a girl, you know what I'm saying? She's 13 years old. She's a nail tech. She created her own nail system. She does everything. She family. So she got the award. Then we had people with barbershops, hairstylists, people that in culinary arts. One people was feeding the whole school systems in Pittsburgh and Western PA. But the whole purpose of Global Transformations, outside of just life coaching and the different social work I do in the community, is acknowledging entrepreneurs and then giving them an award so that they can know, don't give up. Like, just don't give up. Keep going. And I love just honoring people.
Bro, you got the light. You know what I'm saying? No, you got the flashlight. Like, hey, we gonna put it on you too. Yeah, you entrepreneur. Yeah, put it on you. Get your award.
Come on,
you know what I
bro.
mean? You get
Come
people,
on.
because when you do that to people, because listen, something about the social media marketing, what I'm into, is one of the things with my mentors when I would listen to him. He was saying the same thing. He's like, when you're cultivating a community, the people want to be seen. So what he would do is like their comments, go in their inbox, say something. It's like, and then that would like, you know, that would boost them up. They, you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, okay, I'm doing.
Somebody's watching me.
Yeah, now somebody's showing me some love, because everybody wants to be seen in some type of capacity. So that's what you're like. I love what you're doing, bro, because you're using the gift in multiple places, but it's the same blueprint.
Come on.
It's the same blueprint. I'm paying attention
Catch it.
because you're using the same blueprint for every.
You're making it
Yeah.
universal.
Yeah, he's like, all right, if I'm going to use it for
Global
kids, or if I'm going to use it for adults, or if I'm going to use it for business owners, whatever it will be, I'm using that blueprint to shine that light in some way. And I love the way God's using you, because you're paying attention to how he's using you. And I love it because we're kind of like the same person, and I'm like behind you, but you're giving me a blueprint. Because it's like, there's a lot of I'm a leader in ways, but I'm still learning a lot.
Yeah.
But you're kind of like giving me an eyesight on what he really would want me to do, because I always wanted to be a motivational speaker.
Yep.
That's where the podcast part came in, because I wanted to be a motivational speaker, but I was like, bro, my lifestyle, wow, I can't be. You know what I mean? I smoke and do stuff like that. Ain't right. Like, you know what I mean? Who am I to be telling you what to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll coach you privately. That's how I always felt. You know what I mean? I'm too wild to be out there on the stage.
Privately, like,
I got you. I'll tell you something about life. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But what I'm starting to realize just with myself was that basically everybody got some stuff in the closet.
All of us.
So I didn't know that, you know what I mean? Not knowing that, and I'm realizing like, oh, everybody got something in the closet, so they ain't gonna judge you, but no, Now, when they put you up there, there is a discipline and a standard that you need to hold, but that comes from building the character.
Come on.
And that's where I'm at. Is like I'm building my character now.
Part of the process, bro.
Me too.
Yeah. So but you helping me see. Your light is helping me see a little bit more further in the road. Like, oh, okay.
Word.
I can see that.
That's
Now,
dope.
you know what I'm saying? That I
That's
couldn't
dope.
see certain things. I was like, okay, now I know where I'm a little bit going.
That's
Okay.
dope.
Because now this is how he uses people. This is exactly what he does. The next person is the blueprint for the next person. It's always going to be that way.
You know what's going to always be the light for that? This is what I do. Love. People don't know. They think about it in such a, the world perverts it.
Perverts it.
And
Facts.
the world makes it think it's sexual. And
Yeah,
the
it's
world
not
makes
that.
make us think it's weak. But love is literally the strongest element. It's stronger than water.
Facts.
And it's just like, water's the strongest thing but on earth, but love is the strongest thing. So what I do is I learned this. You do little things with great love. So instead of thinking you gotta have this big thing,
I had to hit that, bro, because no, that was a bar. It's a bar. You know what I mean? Because, that was a bar. Keep going.
you gotta do little things with great love, and that's how you make the biggest impact. A lot of us, we think we gotta wait until we're on a stage with motivational speaking to 1 million people. It's like, nah, just show that motivate that one person. But it's like sometimes it's hard. But when you do it with love is the easiest thing to really have too, because it's a choice. Right. See, you don't wait for a feeling. I just choose to love y'all.
you, yeah.
I chose to give y'all flowers.
Right.
I chose to come here and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna love on my brothers today. It's like a choice. And what happens is it impacts you. It hits. And when it hits, it's a wave and it don't stop.
And a receiver.
Ooh, come
Because
on.
once you give it out, it receives you.
Come on.
You be happy that you helped somebody or you helped your kids.
I ain't gonna
Whatever it is,
Come back.
it come right back. You like,
Bro,
oh, that felt good.
You saying it like that is real deep. Just like you said, you really don't. It's not like a time and place for it. Like there was like 4 people. I can't even say 4. There was 5 people.
Yeah.
It was my mom. No, it was 6. It was my mom, my older sister Tony, and my youngest sister. And then I had 2 other people that I'm just cool with. But I just all sent them a text like, "I'm proud of you." You know what
Simple,
I mean?
small
Like it was just a good feeling because like
Yup.
you see where they started from, as in like any conversation. Like of course my family, but like the other 2 people, like just seeing their transition and what they're doing and how they're coming into the light for themselves. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to tell you, like, I'm just proud of y'all. Like really, really nothing before, after, nothing extra about it. Just I'm proud of you and you being yourself.
That's a love.
And you
for
know
sure.
why it's so much of a love thing that you said it's the small things, and you just saying that just sucked me in the whirlwind of the universe. It said
Come on.
the smallest things are the greatest things.
Yes.
You know why? Because the seed is small
And it grows.
and it grows. And then you got, I'm gonna tell you how much this is true. You in a household with a woman.
Yeah.
I've been with my woman for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
When you're in a household with a woman, what do they get mad about? Small things.
Smallest.
You know why? Because they made a love.
Yup.
And it be the small things that, cause babe, why you just couldn't do this little thing? But you bugging, like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? If you ever been in the house, I ain't trying to do that. But if you just did them little things in the house,
Smallest.
they be the happiest,
Yup.
loving person to you. Hey, I cooked the dinner and the breakfast. Bro, they cool because it's the small.
Small.
But men don't understand that because we think about big picture. Well, I paid the bill. I got the car. I did that. Like, bro, it ain't
bro.
that. It's to take her out on a little date.
Yeah.
Go a little bowling.
Rub her feet.
You know what I mean? It's a little small
her-
thing.
tell her she beautiful.
And then when as a man gets to recognizing that, he be like, he think it's a lot, but it's so small. It's not even big. But that just proves the point of the smallest things, from a little seed that can grow to a huge tree. Yeah, I mean, you be
Look,
like,
bro.
how is that possible? Like, because it's the smallest things, that's the strongest things in the world. You just don't know it.
And it take me to a Bible verse because there's a Bible verse that says, some sow and some reap, or some sow, but then some water, but God gets the increase. So it's just like whenever you're sowing love into somebody, you might be the person that sowed the seed into them, or you might be the person that's just watering it. But at the end of the day, you're still a part of the growing process, and at the end of the day, it's going to come back to you. So right now, like you just said, you received that love from me. It's because you gave that love out to somebody else. It just made its way back to you.
Deep. That's deep.
It just made its way back to you.
Last question before we get out of here.
Let's go.
All right. We always ask everybody this is, have Someone's in your footsteps, you know, they want to be a life coach. They want to shed some light on some people.
Yeah.
They feel like that's in them.
Okay.
They just don't have no guidance. Nobody's not rooting for them right now. And they just like sitting in a dark place and they don't be like, yo, I don't think that would ever happen for me. What's some words of encouragement and some guidance or words that you could say to them right now if they was watching it?
Okay. The first thing I'll say is that the fact that you still have a pulse, you have a purpose. So it's just like, anytime you feel like I want to kill myself or I'm nothing or nothing's going to happen to me, just grab your hand or put your hand on your heart or grab your wrist and realize if you have a pulse and there is still a heartbeat in you, that means that God still has you here for a reason. There is somebody on the earth that you are supposed to impact. There is somebody on the earth that is supposed to impact you, and you're a part of a body. It's way bigger than you, right? So it's real, like, it's selfish of you to just have your mind on just you. You got to realize that you're important, even to us. You feel what I'm saying? But I know at the time, whenever you're going through your process, you don't care about nobody else. But what I would really tell you to do is to first just pray. Get silent by yourself. Isolate yourself and then pray. And then I always tell people, go back to gratitude. If you go back to writing, just get a notebook. Write 5 things you're grateful for. I promise you. And really be grateful for them. Don't let it be nothing corny. Like, let it be something that you genuinely feel, even if it's something small. And then more things will come to you for you to be grateful for. And then when it comes to just being like a life coach, kind of follow my blueprint, I say get around some people who's positive. Some people who uplift you. A lot of times you watching people who's negative on social media, all your friends is talking about you or all your friends is snakes, and everybody around you is draining you because they're drainers. They're pulling from you. Get around some people that can pour into you. And then the last thing I'll say is be real with yourself. You got to forgive yourself. You messed up. You dropped the ball. The reason why you in that predicament is because of you. You did it, right? And when you just take responsibility for the decisions that you made and you forgive yourself, then you can get back up. You know what I mean? If you have a pulse, you have a purpose.